let us go to the great state of Iowa, because as you know, on this show, we always pick the Iowa total, but this time we're also picking the Iowa spread. The Cy-Hawk game, Iowa State at Iowa. Iowa is a 2.5-point favorite. The total on this sucker is 36.5. Iowa scored 40 against Illinois State.
Mm-hmm.
Are you pumped? Are you jazzed? Are you ready for an Iowa explosive offense where they hit receivers for touchdowns? They had 3 receiving touchdowns. 2 receivers scored touchdowns. They tied last year's total for touchdowns by wide receivers.
That stat does not ever stop being like
hilarious.
I cannot even believe that's a real stat. So let me ask you this. Where are you with Iowa? Like you feel good about like things being fixed, or do you think that they are marginally better and we're playing against a team that physically couldn't just handle what the athletes have? Like, do you think that they are going to be functional on offense this year?
Probably not. I think they're probably the same team they were last year.
Yeah.
They were playing Illinois State. They're playing an FCS team. Like, no, I am not confident in this offense because it took a whole half to get going. This game was 6-0 at halftime. Yeah. But yes, Reese Vanderzee, who we're going to call the ice cream man because his family runs an ice cream business in extreme northern Iowa. He had 2 touchdown catches. Maybe he's the savior of the offense. I have no idea. But I do not feel supremely confident that Iowa's going to be any different than they were last year. That said, being the same as they were last year still might win them 9 or 10 games.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm ready for them to be fixed because I enjoy like kind of watching the misery. It's very compelling to me. But I do think that Iowa State might actually be a lot better than people are giving them credit for this year too. So like, I feel like the spread of this game has been Iowa -2.5 for like the last 30 years. It just like seems to be the same spread every single year. But like laying points, I'm not in a position where I'm comfortable with Iowa laying points against a Power 5 opponent that actually has very good skill position players.
PrizePicks is the best daily fantasy game in America. Use that code Staples. Play $5, get $50 instantly. And so let's take us back to Saturday. I was using a demon square with Quinn Ewers and Sam Levitt. So Quinn Ewers was playing against Colorado State. I knew he was going to have a good game. My question was, will it be too good? And he gets pulled really early. And then Sam Levitt's the Arizona State quarterback. And obviously he had a good game, but at that point it didn't matter because Quinn Ewers got pulled just before he could go more than 299.5 yards. The demon squares on PrizePicks, those are a little more difficult to get, but the potential payout is higher. That's how PrizePicks work. You pick squares and you say, I think this person's going to do more than this or less than this. You pick at least 2. You can go as high as 5. And the more you pick, the higher the potential payout. I did win one, though. I went Dylan Raiola more than 235.5 passing yards. Lenora Sellers, the South Carolina quarterback, more than 40.5 rushing yards. And Nick Singleton, the Penn State running back, more than 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdowns. So that one, a $50 play, wins you $250. That's how PrizePicks work. It is so much fun. It really livens up a Saturday or a Sunday, NFL, obviously. I mean, or any day because they've got everything. They have gaming, like League of Legends. Like they've got all of it. So, yeah, download PrizePicks now. Play $5, get $50 instantly with the code Staples. They've got the free squares. It's a Caleb Williams free square right now for the first NFL games this week, where it's basically more than 0.5 passing yards. So if you pick that one, you're going to get that square as long as Caleb Williams completes 1 pass, and I think he's probably going to complete a few. So download that PrizePicks app. Use code Staples. Well, at Iowa State, I feel like it's felt different since they went and beat Kansas State at the end of last season. And Rocco Becht, he's been there. Because remember, this time last year, Rocco Becht was not the guy they had planned to start, and they had to deal with the fallout of the gambling investigation, and Deckers was out. So Rocco Becht now full year under his belt as a starter. I'm excited about this game. I don't know that I'm as confident about Iowa State's offense against Iowa's defense as you are. So I am going to take Iowa to cover, and I'm going to take the under.
I'm going to take the under, but I think Iowa State's going to win the football game.
Okay.
I like Iowa State's pieces. I mean, like their running back, Abu Sama is one of the best running backs in the country. I saw some people reaching for him in dynasty fantasy football leagues. I think he's really, really talented. And then Jalen Noel at the receiver position is a guy who can get you over 100 yards receiving every week. And Rocco Becht has been pretty impressive to me. I think that like if this game is 13-10 at the end of the road, that might just mean like that Iowa had a special teams touchdown or something. I mean, I just like, it's like the Jesse Pinkman meme. You can't keep getting away with this. Like, I don't know. Like last year, Iowa won 9. How many games did they win last year? They got to almost 10, I think. I think they won 9 games last year.
Yeah.
They had a really good year.
They can keep getting away with this, Ari. They keep getting away with this.
So, yeah, the thing with Iowa is they score an inordinate amount of special teams and defensive touchdowns. And a lot of those types of touchdowns were the difference in the games that they won. Is that you always like to say something travels, like the offensive line travels. Those do defensive touchdowns travel? Do special teams touchdowns travel? Like, I don't know how much you can rely on that year after year. Like, it's like, but they scored like, I think there was like 2 or 3 times more special teams and defensive touchdowns and receivers caught touchdown passes. Like, that's not a sustainable thing that's going to lead you to success. And like,
it is when you keep doing it. It is.
But like, do you think they can keep doing it? It's what I'm asking you, because I do think that there's an element of randomness to special teams and defensive touchdowns.
Against not Ohio State and not Penn State, yes, I do think they can keep doing it, because it's not the points you're getting directly from special team scores or defensive scores. It's the fact that you have elite special teams and defense, which are going to win you most games.
Yeah. But I do think that Iowa in many situations last year needed the points they got from those things. And I think you can have an elite defense and elite special teams without generating as many points as they did last year. I think it's one of the biggest statistical anomalies. I mean, Iowa last year is if you like show people their statistics and record and some of the play-by-play from last year and 100 years from now, like they'll like do archaeology studies on like how that was even possible. Like I still don't even know how you can field a football team that won as many games they did last year while being that incompetent on offense. And I just don't know that. I think year over year, it's something that I anticipate is reliable. Like, I think it's random, and good defense isn't random, but scoring on it is.
I don't think it's random, because if it were random, they would have gone 4-8 at some point, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's a product of the Big Ten West, and with it gone, but they still got the easier schedule draw in the Big Ten. So I don't even know if that.
Let me ask you it this way then, Andy. If I told you that Iowa would not score a special teams or defensive touchdown in this game, would you still pick them to win? Like, if I said that cannot happen, it won't happen.
Yeah, because they would still have a situation where they pinned Iowa State on the 2 with a punt. Iowa State gets stuffed, goes 3 and out, punts from their own 5. And Iowa gets the ball on offense on the Iowa State 45, and they score a field goal that, they gain 20 yards and score a field goal. Like,
I think that will happen,
but that always happens. That's how this works.
Yeah.
So
but I think that like getting the ball at the 45 and like hoping that it results in a field goal is the problem.
All right. So Iowa State spread or money line? You want the 2.5 points? You want to just say they win?
Iowa State's going to win the football game.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples on 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.